Myat Kyaw was involved. A leader began and founded Burma Art Association. Myat Kyaw negotiated with UHLA Mongji, U Lwin, Sculptures, and UKOKOG, Fine Art Supreme Rank, died, and founded the Burma Art Association. U Tun Hla, Soyo Myat, Yoon Gui Gaing and U San Win were elected as patron. All middle-age artists were united in Myanmar at the association and carried out the concerning of arts business. On 1964, they began to organize the association, and as a president U Ba Kai, U Than Han, U Hla Mong Ji, U Kin Mong and U Ba Kin. On 1951, U Hla Mong Ji was appointed to preside as a president, and U Myat Kyaw served as associated secretary. Secretary was U Mong Mong. U Chit Mong was an education officer. U Ba Kin was an audit. U Tun Yi was a treasurer. U Ba Mo was policy and information officer. U Won Tha was an organizer. U Ba Lone Lay, U Than Nyant and U Tin Hla served in associated. Association had influence for integrity and artists' activities. Once time an association was headed by some of middle-old artists had died now. At present still alive artists are decrepit artists. They take a responsibility as patron in present Art and Artisan Association, Central. When Myat Kyaw and I are intimacy, I can penetrate to his inner mind. Myat Kyaw's inner mind was influenced by the judgment and nationalism. When I looked at him for a moment, he was very intelligent. Something were aroused immediately. He can solve consequent on problems. He can scrutinize over justice and injustice. Myat Kai hatred too much on injustice, so he had never endured any person or any association. That was Myat Kyaw's personality. One day, we met with U Chit Mong, Myat Kyaw, U Mong Mong and I at tea shop near U Chit Mong's house, talked concerning Blackboard Art Teachers Club, and Myat Kyaw said that U Teachers Club is working under the influential of high-ranking U Kung and U San Win. It is very easy. No problem. Our art association is working self-reliant. In our team, each are forcing and pushing to grip on rank. Whoever say about our association, it can be broken. Myat Kyaw was born in Myenagon, Yangon on 1918. Fatga was mosaic artist U Pho Minute and mother was Daw Kyot. Father U Shu Tong of Daw Kyot was a famous sculptor and native was Sinfukyu Kian. There were 5 siblings, eldest sister Daw Maya Thin, Myat Kyaw, U Thaw Ta, U Than Zon and U Tun Win. Mother Daw Kyot's brother U Pho Take's son U Kyo Zor was a sculptor for wooden craft and ivory craft and was a cousin of Myat Kyaw. Myat Kyaw emerged an artist from generation of sculptor and mosaic artist. Myat Kyaw's childhood learned all curriculum of Myanmar grammar at Monastery Education School. In the pre-war era, he studied by heart in English. He set 7th standard examination and passed. Myat Kyaw was sticking fine art in his heart for grandfather's gifts and father's art heritage. As an ancient proverb that father was a seed and mother was a farm, Myat Kyaw's talents were not only art seeds but also creative behavior was seems to be an innate gifts. Myat Kyaw's art talent was fading for environments and his mind was influenced that was indignant for injustice. His periods and his mind had seldom a chance to touch the Wee Burman Association. He was recorded and became a capability of soiled earth. Myat Kyaw was sweetest poem that slogan was one kind of master was our Burman. In the battlefield with English, he was a member of Commando. Art critic Soyo Por Thit said that in art field life was eloquent than beauty. Myat Kyaw's works were incisively presented life demonstration than the beauty subjects. When I describe as a quote of Por Thit, his painting were reflected by his hardship and troubles in his young life. And revolution experiences were expressed. Myat Kyaw didn't he prefer nice papers and beautiful figures. Even if he gets rough, bold and uneven brushstrokes and brushworks, he got an ecstasy. In English servant life, Myat Kyaw was a lively and active master. Throughout the revolution period in BIA, BDA, BEF and BPO, he was a brave and was a lieutenant who donated his life for country. In the pre-war era, He was a member of We Burman Association provoked the patriotism. He had done in full-time politician with Masters and Master Ba Ho, Master I Maung, member of 30 military trainees comrades at Lieutenant Mo, and Master Ba Thane in Myeongdong Quarter. At 1300 Years Revolution, Master Myat Kyaw, about 30 years old, was a commando with diligence and activity in politics immersely and marched towards Shwedagon Pagoda, and he was sentenced by the English government. Master was nominated in sending to Japan for military trainer for independence. In reality sending, Master Myat Kyaw was left, so he felt resentfully. U Myat Kyaw served in adventurously at BIA, BDA, and Patriotic Burma Army for independence and moreover as a military artist, an army officer. In 1960, the state appointed the first-grade Independent Archive Awards to U Myat Kyaw. In Art and Sculpture Records was written by Uba How, about U Myat Kyaw, great artist U Myat Kyaw, when I writes about great artist U Myat Kyaw in concisely, as his pen name Master Lieutenant Teacher and I can write. U Myat Kyaw had a hobby in writing literatures and composites poem. One of my friend who had read his literature book. Was this text written Ko Myat Kyaw? So this man is good at writing. When he was a young boy, he preached politics, young people liked and clapped their hands for applause and cried Tirche Kin Myat Kyaw. He had never disappointed on the opportunity to go astray for country, and as soon as the Burma Army entered into Burma he entered and served at Bo Minute Kong Quarter. He with Bo Minute Kong Quarter Army marched and attacked to the northern Burma. From northern Burma towards Mandalay and Pine Mana, abolished Burma Independent Army. Comrade Myat Kyaw continuously served in new organized Burma Defense Army. He attended the Gazette officer training with present many kinds of rank of army officers. He got the promotion from Comrade Myat Kyaw to become a warrant officer Myat Kyaw. Bo Myat Kyaw troop operated at the battlefields to enemy's confederation in Rakhine State at air attacking in Tongkot and Kyork Phu. Bo Myat Kyaw was involved in attacking. Bo Myat Kyaw troop took duties at the border of Kalewa. After return from Kalewa, he transferred Tatmadaw Art Section. When he was at Tatmadaw Art Section, Bo Myat Kyaw was appointed from warrant officer to lieutenant. When began a revolution to Japan, Lieutenant Myat Kyaw was assigned at the Delta region. Within the revolution to Japan and English, there were not enough to say about Bo Myat Kyaw. He was fulfillment with quantities such as his abilities, his brave, his honesty, his generosity, his patience at hardships and his comrade's mind. In the post-war era, he served as an executive in People Army Headquarters and became a member in People Army which was organized by the leading of Bogyokam Son. After received Myanmar independence, in Fa-Sa-Pa-La ruling era, Bo Myat Kyaw was arrested for a long time in the time of White Soilder Sheltered Forest for disintegration of Yabor Phu White Soilder and Yabar Ni Red Soilder. When he was released from sentence, he came in fine art fields and parted from politics world. He moved to Myeongdong from Lonwas Street House where he was serving in People Army. So interesting U Myat Kyaw's marriage life. He was a passionate Burmese young boy with patriotism within the English whiteface era. English races usually and specifically live from English half-blood races. At that time, Maung Myat Kyaw fall in love with half-caste English girl named Morley. Morley's relatives disagreed with Maung Myat Kyaw. Diligent Maung Myat Kyaw vowed that I can take in anyway. When being war, Maung Myat Kyaw went out the operation to expel out the English. He was become an army officer. In Japan era, once time ago, arrogant English half-blood lose face. One day, Maung Myat Kyaw wore full of military uniform and entered Morley's house. When he got Morley's house, his pistol put over table after detached from waist. He sat with hard-faced. Morley's families in fright moody favored and behaved with humble to him. Later he considered that it is not suitable such like of behaving ascendancy upon mawkish ones. From the time, he won't visit lover's house. When he would like to meet with Morley, he had been dating. At last, they got agreement and couple fled to get marriage life. Lieutenant Myat Kyaw got 4 children with Daw Morley. In 1949, Daw Morley died. And then caring for his children Daw Tin Hla was married again. Daw Tin Hla takes caring of U Myat Kyaw until his death. U Myat Kyaw want to illustrate on the rough surface paper with bold and brave brushworks than to paint beautiful girl images in magazine illustration. When he paints film poster, he usually paint noon and night if it was too close to show cinema. Yoon Gui Gaing, Yu Hlamong Ji, Yu Ba Yin Kalari and Yu He Riang were his contemporary artists in poster world and usually give helps in each. When art and sculpture school begin to open, Soyo Song was appointed as a headmaster. But Soyo Song died immediately after assignment for headmater. Then Yu Kin Mong was assigned for headmaster post. Yu Myat Kyaw was become an art demonstrator. Reaching in 1963, Yu Kin Mong got a retirement and Yu Myat Kyaw was promoted to headmaster post. He visited and acquired fine arts to Soviet in 1964, Republic of Germany in 1969. On 1968 to 1964, Yu Myat Kyaw himself had read the paper written being a cartoonist and a fundamental qualification for cartoonist at the paper reading submits which was led by Art and Sculptures, Central. His oil paintings was usually presented at art exhibitions was expressed in his revolution experience, revolutionary in BIA era he who fall down to hell a cold water drop. Now his paintings was recorded as his life and his experience. In 1977 January 2nd, Sunday 8 a.m., while he was riding trishaw in return home where located in Western Schwegendien Bahan 3 Street, he was bumped by car. He was sent to General Hospital as an emergency but in that day he passed away. At Sayagi Yu Myat Kyaw's funeral, veteran military servants, revolutionary comrades, arists, novelists, musicians, and other artists and art students. I knew that he has a plan to paint not only revolution experiences but also battlefield subject if he would still alive.